Lassiter Factor.
What's up, all my movie-loving maniacs? This your boy Bangful B of the Lassiter Factor, and I am back with another movie collection. And today I'm gonna show off my movies that start with the letter C. So let's get into it. Don't say his name 5 times. I have the original Candyman and Candyman from 2021. Obviously classic. The second one was okay, but I own it because I'm a fan of Nia DaCosta as a filmmaker and love 28 years later, The Bone Tipple, which she directed, but Candyman as a series, love him. Rest in peace, Tony Todd. I have not seen the sequels to that original one and don't really intend to. Casper, the first movie, childhood classic right here. I love to watch this every other or so Halloween, but definitely a 90s classic right there in my opinion. Let's talk Captain America. I have the Steve Rogers Captain America trilogy, The First Avenger, The Winter Soldier, and Civil War, which is not just my favorite Captain America movie, but my favorite MCU movie, period. I love this movie to death. It did so many things right and did so many things for the Infinity Saga going forward. And of course, I have Captain America, Brave New World. Not the best Captain America movie, but I'm a fan of Sam Rogers as Captain America, and the movie, it wasn't horrible like everyone makes it out to be. It just wasn't as good as it could have been. I can't speak today. I have Captain Marvel on Steelbook and The Marvels. Now, the first one, it was okay. The second one, also just okay. I don't think these movies are as bad as the chuds make them out to be, but definitely on the lower end as far as MCU movies. I have the original Catfish documentary right here, which spawned the TV series that was on MTV for all those years, but I think I got this out of, I forgot where I got this, but I just remember it was in this case, and I was like, you know what, I never seen the original Catfish documentary, so let me get it. It was actually a bargain price too, $3. So, yeah. Then I have Challengers, which is not just my favorite movie from 2024, but probably one of my favorite movies of the decade so far. So, yeah. Cheaper by the Dozen, another childhood classic of mine, well, from the early 2000s, albeit, but I just love this movie, one of my favorite Steve Martin movies. Chicken Run, another childhood classic right here, and one of DreamWorks' earlier movies in stop-motion animation, the animation of the movie, perfect. I have Chronicles, severely underappreciated superhero movie and found footage movie that was directed by Josh Trank, and by default, his best movie. Now, let's talk Chucky. I have this Chucky box set, which has the Child's Play trilogy, Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, and Curse of Chucky. And then I have Cult of Chucky and the Child's Play remake that has Mark Wahlberg as the voice of the character, but not as good as the original. But Chucky, one of my favorite horror icons. Coach Carter, classic Sam Jackson movie, and one of my favorite, well, it is my favorite basketball movie right here. If I find these on Blu-ray, I'm definitely going to upgrade it, but yeah, one of my favorites right there. Let's see. Oh, yes. Coco, a more recent classic Pixar film right here. My name is Miguel, and I'm looking for my great-great-grandfather. Collateral, one of my favorite Tom Cruise joints right here, and one of Michael Mann's best movies right here. Let's talk The Color Purple. I have the original one that was directed by Steven Spielberg, my second favorite Spielberg film of all time, and then I have the musical remake from a few years ago. Not as good as the original, obviously, but I thought it was good to have. You told Harpo to beat me! Oh yeah, one of my favorite comedies of all time. Coming to America. One of my favorite Eddie Murphy joints right here. I do not have its sequel, Coming to America, because one, I don't think they released it on Blu-ray or any physical media, and plus it just wasn't as good. I can just put it up on Amazon, but my name's King Jaffe Jufa. I am ruler of Zamunda. I am searching for my son, Akeem. Yeah, you just have to enjoy these impressions. But anyways, Companion, another one of my favorite movies from last year. Let's talk The Conjuring. I have the first Conjuring, The Conjuring 2, which is my favorite of these movies, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, which I don't think is as bad as everyone makes it out to be. And then The Conjuring, Last Rites, which was released last year. And again, could have been better, but I'm a completist. I just have to have all of them. Though I do not have any of its spin-offs that came out in between those movies, like Annabelle, The Nun. Just, to me, those movies suck. Another movie that, in the eyes of a lot of people, sucks, but I thought it was still pretty decent, and that is Crash. One of those movies that probably shouldn't have won Best Oscar or Best Movie of the year it came out, but I thought it was still a pretty decent film with some decent performances. Cradle to the Grave, DMX, rest in peace, and Jet Li, but it's one of my favorite DMX joints right there. One of my favorite rom-coms from the past decade, and that is Crazy Rich Asians, and probably my favorite John M. Chu movie. Crazy Stupid Love, another one of my favorite rom-coms that, ironically, they both start with the word crazy, but yeah, that movie. I have the Creed trilogy, Creed 1, Creed 2, and Creed 3. As right now, it's just a trilogy. I don't know if they're going to make a fourth film at some point, and I know they talked about like a spin-off series with Ivan Drago's son, but of course, the Creed trilogy. Love those movies to death. Concussion, which I did just rewatch, and an underrated Will Smith film right here. Tell the truth. And finally, with titles that start with the letter C, I have The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, which is one of my favorite Brad Pitt joints right here. I have not seen this in a long time, actually, but love that film right there. So those are all the titles I own that start with the letter C. Do you already own any of those picks? What did you think of those picks? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. This your boy Bankful B of the Lassiter Factor. Stay safe, wash your hands, peace.